Man, high school can be f***ed up. You're watching Beyond the Trailer's review of The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Welcome to the island of misfit toys.
Do you like football?
Love it. Be aggressive! Passive aggressive!
What is she doing?
Don't worry, she does it all the time.
Do you think if people knew how crazy you really were, no one would ever talk to you?
Come on, let's go be psychos together.
In the mid-1990s, struggling indie writer-director Stephen Chbosky decided to turn to a different kind of writing, novels. After much thought, he decided to write a teen novel, but not just any teen novel. No, The Perks of Being a Wallflower looks at loneliness, drug use, sexuality, and abuse head-on. And he did this so well that upon publication by MTV Books in 1999, the book was banned in several schools. And in 2006 and 2008 was on the American Library Association's list of top 10 most frequently challenged books. Naturally then, it was a huge hit with teens. But not just because it was deemed taboo by the man. No, because Chbosky based it partly on his own experiences, and it was not a professional young adult writer who had to play nice for the sake of his career. The Perks of Being a Wallflower rings true with many of its readers. Buoyed by his literary success, Chbosky tried to use it as leverage to get back into Hollywood. He worked on a film adaptation of Michael Chabon's The Mysteries of Pittsburgh, perhaps because Perks also takes place in Pittsburgh and Chbosky is a native, but the project never got off the ground. He then adapted Rent for the silver screen and created the cult hit yet short-lived CBS show Jericho, but found nowhere near the success he did with Perks. So he did the obvious. He began adapting Perks for the silver screen. That was back in 2005. What took so long for him to finish? Well, the thing is, Chbosky wouldn't let anyone else direct. It had to be him. And after pounding the pavement and securing Emma Watson, he was finally able to secure the financing he needed. But while Watson brings the star power, his other two casting choices are even more interesting and exact opposites. Ezra Miller wowed critics but was shamefully overlooked by the Academy, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and audiences in his amazing turn in We Need to Talk About Kevin. Meanwhile, Logan Lerman has plenty of young fans thanks to Percy Jackson, but a string of box office flops to his name. Will Chbosky be able to give these three actors, as well as himself, some much-needed credibility in Hollywood? Or are he and Tinseltown simply star-crossed lovers? Let's go find out. So there are 5 movies coming out on Friday, 4 wide releases and 1 limited, which is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And since I saw that last one at a press screening in advance, I thought I'd review it, not only to try and cover all 5 in 1 week, but also because a number of you happily, and I'm very grateful, enjoyed my Finding Nemo 3D review on Friday. So today, you're going to get my thoughts on The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Now, full disclosure, I have never read the book. But, I read The Catcher in the Rye and a number of those, Judy Blume books, and I think that these are all to some degree cut from the same cloth, quality teen material. And I think that the film very much plays that way. And on that note, it's a dark film. It deals with the things that I mentioned in the opening very frankly and starkly and very well. But it's not like, oh, let's go party. It's not like you're not going to be watching like one of those fun teen movies that you pop in to kind of like forget about your worries. This is going to put a spotlight on your problems and other people's problems and show you how it could potentially be even worse. But all that said, it's very well done. This is an actor's movie. Logan Lerman and Ezra Miller, amazing. Of course, Emma Watson, she's the reason a lot of people are going to see this movie, and she does a very nice job. She's very likable. She's a nice actress. But unfortunately, she's just not as good as Lerman and Miller. I think that in 10 years, I don't know if she'll still be as popular as she is now, but I would bet that Logan Lerman and Ezra Miller are going to be, name actors, or at least, actors who get a lot of great work. Now, so I'll start out with Ezra Miller. He was the reason I was excited to see this film, because I'd seen his work and We Need to Talk About Kevin. He was just fantastic. The whole film's fantastic. If you haven't seen that movie, go rent it. Whoever ran their Oscar campaign last year should be fired, because that deserved a lot of nominations and didn't get really hardly any Oscar nominations at all. I don't think he got any, which is a shame. It's one of the best movies made last year, and his performance is fantastic. So I was very excited to see him here, and he delivers again. He does a great job. This is not as dark. It has an even darker film, but he's more of the comedic relief here. He has his dark moments, but and he does his job well. He's extremely likable. His character is extremely likable in this movie. Loved him. And he actually, there's a couple of scenes where he impersonates Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Horror Picture Show, and he actually pulls it off. He actually reminds me a little bit of Tim Curry. It would be interesting to think of where Tim Curry's career might have gone if he had, instead of doing more fun, big budget roles, if he had done maybe some challenging art house films instead after Rocky Horror Picture Show. He might have. I don't really think they made a big splash that I can recall off the top of my head, but I think he maybe went the wrong route. That said, Logan Lerman has been making a lot of flashy big budget films. There were Three Musketeers he was in. He was the kid in Gamer who was controlling Gerard Butler, and he is Percy Jackson. I can't even recognize the actor in this movie. He's so good. I had no idea Logan Lerman was this good an actor. Everyone makes a big deal about Ryan Gosling right now. He's the huge deal actor, and I think that Logan Lerman is just as good. Really, go see this movie just for these two guys. Their performances are amazing, and people are, and they're so good that, when I was watching the movie and afterwards, I started to think that perhaps they might even get recognized for the Academy Awards and maybe the Golden Globes, but, a little lower, maybe not Oscar level, but they should get some recognition. And I think that Summit's Oscar office, their Oscar campaign office, should, float that out there and see if it's at all doable, because I think they have a shot. So, great film. Stephen Chbosky directed his own work, and since it's an actor's film, I'd have to say he's an actor's director. He coaxed great performances out of his talent. Did he add anything to the movie? I don't really think so. Visually, I don't think he added anything. This isn't like American Beauty, where Sam Mendes did the whole thing. He got great performances out of his actors, and he had a clear visual stamp on the film as well. You're not seeing that here. So I would think at the end of the day, he is still a writer. There's nothing wrong with that, but the standout work here is from the actors. Also, I would also like to note that this film has a surprise ending, twist, and I didn't see it coming. I'm usually very good at guessing those, and this is one of the few films that surprised me. And it could have also not only surprised me, but it could have done it in a cheap way, in an exploitive way, but it didn't. I think that's another great thing about the movie. It handles these horrible, difficult problems very tastefully and with respect, and that's a credit to the actors as well, who could have really been over melodramatic and gone for broke, but they didn't. They didn't play to the cheap seats, and that's really nice. And the film is very realistic. It really does feel like hanging out in high school, the lulls, the trying to find something to do. So I would say. This isn't something I would be like, hey, big group of people, let's go see this movie, but it's something I would definitely go and see. I think it would be a shame to miss it, in fact, because of Logan Lerman and Ezra Miller's work. So check it out. I think it's going to be a film people are talking about. It's certainly going to be something people rent and have on their DVD shelf, and it reminds me of one of those movies that I think will stick around, it's like Swingers and Grosse Pointe Blank and people's favorites list. So have you seen The Perks of Being a Wallflower? If so, what did you think? Did you read the book? Was it a good comparison? Maybe you can shed some light on that I wasn't able to do. And thank you for coming here. I hope you enjoyed this movie review. Thank you for coming to Be on the Trailer for reviews like this. You can get audience reactions on Fridays and movie bites and trailers and stuff during the rest of the week. So thank you. Thank you for watching, and see you around. Bye.